Okay, right. So now we are dealing with question C. So in question C, they say that determine the inverse of f in the form y and state its domain. Now, the first step before we can even try to determine the inverse of f, remember we have found that our k was equals to 1 over 3. So actually our function of f of x is actually 1 over 3x. Now, another thing that you need to look out for, if we had to do the domain of f of x, it was basically, remember, can you see that it's starting from 0, going on and on and on and on. So it's starting from 0 going to positive infinity. So the way that you could have wrote it, and you could have said x is an element of greater than 0 to infinity, right? Or in a set builder notation, you could have said x dot as 0 greater than 0 greater 0 less than or greater than x to infinity. And then another way that you could have wrote it down was just saying x is greater than or equals to 0. Alright, then that's how you would have wrote down the domain of the given f of x, or that root function, right? Now, for you to actually do the inverse, not interval. No, for you to do the inverse of s, you're gonna have to say that let f of x equals to y equals to square root 1 over 3 x. Then you're gonna say interchange x and y. Then it's gonna become x equals to square root 1 over 3 y, and the way in which you can get rid of the roots is to square both sides. Then you're gonna get x squared equals to 1 over 3y, 1 over 3y. And then for you to get rid of the root of the not the root of the fraction there is to actually multiply each side by 3. 1 over 3y multiplied by 3, then you should get your y being actually 3x squared. Now, if you had to draw, now this is referred to as a parabola. This function that we got here is referred to as a parabola, and in the way of a rough sketch that you would have drawn it, this is how it would have looked like. Now remember, that function at first was restricted from values of 0 up until infinity. So we could only draw it from here only, and then we can put an arrow there. So the domain of the parabola as well is going to be the same as that one as well. So the domain for this parabola as well, it's actually going to be the same as that one that we did here. So it's basically gonna be x greater than x greater than or equals to 0, or in the way of an interval notation you could say x is an element of greater from 0 included to positive infinity, and then that's how you can actually write down your answer, which is the complete version of the whole entire answer. All right.